Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of our USS Sovereign, a Star Trek Adventures RPG live play. I'm your Game Master, Tony, and with me tonight is Panda, Selic, Lance, James, Sarah, Phil, and Nova. Everybody say hi.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice.
So if you didn't tune in last week, this is our new show. It's a role-playing game live play of the Star Trek Adventure system from Modiphius, and we decided that we wanted to create some more content for the channel and for you guys, and this just seemed like a perfect opportunity. It's a Star Trek game, and it's a role-playing game, and so some of our players have played either or both, and some haven't, and so we're having a lot of fun, and we hope you guys are too. So yeah, we'll hop right back into it. James, why don't you give us so for those of you who don't know, there is a crew on the ship in this situation, and there is an away team on the planet in a situation, and so we'll do a couple of personal logs or command logs to get you guys caught up with what's going on. So first is Captain Captain James Shepard on board the Sovereign. So why don't you go ahead and give us your captain's log?
Captain's log, stardate 57811.4. Whilst responding to a distress call, the USS Sovereign has become trapped in some sort of temporal rift above an unknown M-class planet. My helmsman, Trailar, has vanished, and I myself have now taken the helm. It's been a long time since I was at the helm of a starship. And that time didn't end well. This time must be different. We've lost all communication with the landing party, which means they are now on their own. I have to hope that my first officer, Sovek, is all I remembered him to be. However, if something were to happen to the Sovereign, I have left the away team with a warp-capable starship, the captain's yacht. I have to hope that I can think of a way out of this mess, or at least a member of my very capable crew can.
All right, so that's the situation on the Sovereign, and now let's cut to the planet's surface and the away team, which is commanded by Commander Selleck. Why don't you catch us up there, Selleck?
Commander Sovek's personal log. Our away team was ambushed quickly by the human we came to rescue. Lieutenant Hassar was injured by an arrow, but thanks to Commander Temna's empathic skills, we learnt that my initial intention to try and calm and approach the human would be inappropriate, and thus we opened fire, and after 3 phaser shots, we finally managed to incapacitate them. Now we may begin our investigation of the crash site.
And let's continue on the planet. What would you like to do?
I would like a scan of both the shuttle pod and the Romulan wreckage. We need to make sure that Lieutenant Hassar's wounds are properly dealt with, and that strange mushroom-like fauna needs to be catalogued. Also, we should regain contact with the ship.
Don't forget, too, you have an injured crew member. I'm sure Nova hasn't forgotten that.
No.
And the doctor is present. Lance, do you want to play the doctor on the planet? Since Trailar has vanished, and then when we cut back to the ship, you can also play retracts or crate
Sure,
tracks.
I can do that.
Do you know where to find her character sheet?
I believe so. Just if not, just if you can link.
Yeah. Why don't you go? It's in that main folder. The link should be up in chat. Why don't you look for that? We'll continue, and then if we get to a part where we need you, we'll make sure you have that. So, all right. So, our Commander Sovek, are you doing the scan, or are you ordering someone else to do it?
I believe someone else should do it, as they are most likely better equipped to do so.
Would you like to order, perhaps?
Commander Temna.
Okay.
All right. So, what exactly are you scanning?
How about we start with the shuttle pod?
All right. So, scanning the shuttle pod. Oh, you know what I forgot? Hang on one second. I forgot the most important member of our
Oh no.
of our team here. Didn't I?
I'm looking at the game with anticipation.
Hang on. Yeah, I forgot the most important member of our team.
So much suspense.
Is it the cloaked Hirogen?
All right, there we go. All right. Um, let me just make sure they're there. Okay, yep, they're there. Great, perfect. All right, so, all right, so it's going to be, so you're scanning the shuttle pod. It's going to be a reason science check with a difficulty of 0. Let me know if you want to modify anything or if you just want to go for it.
I think I'll just go for it.
Okay. So go ahead. Do you want to roll or do you want to just scan?
I'll roll.
Okay. What's your target? What's your reason science?
So, reason and science is 17 together, and I got 1 and 11.
1 and 11? All right. Well, that's 3 successes. That's 3 successes. And you... so you have 3 momentum hanging around right now. You can only bank 2 more, so you can definitely spend 1. So, all right. So you pull out your tricorder. You aim it towards the shuttle pod. Take a scan. And did everybody hear that, by the way? All right,
Yes.
good. That was who we were missing in the most important member of our crew.
Lieutenant sound effects.
Yeah, Lieutenant sound effects. So,
Lieutenant Foley.
so you take out your tricorder, you scan the shuttle, and you discover that the shuttle has been here for 6 years, and it's all of its systems have been shut down, and all of the power has been routed to the distress signal that that you received and that brought you to the planet. So it's also the shuttle is also covered in moss. Keep in mind. So do you want to spend that extra point of momentum to learn some more?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay. So, all right. So you spend 1 point of that momentum. So you also scan the moss that's covering the ship, and the scan. So you scan the moss, and it's definitely a rapid growth moss that is feeding off of materials like minerals on the ship, and it's covering the shuttle pod. It's also covering the wreckage of the Romulan ship, and you know, as you're following your scans, you find out that the water supply that is feeding the moss, and that is presumably also, you know, prevalent in the nearby water supplies, has the characteristics of a strong psychotropic compound that if it were ingested by, you know, a human or any, you know, human-like species, it would certainly cause some crazy side effects.
Vulcans are obviously immune.
So you have 2 more points of momentum. Do you want to spend them or bank them?
What do you think we should do? Learn more or bank the points?
I'm not sure what else we could learn that would be super relevant. We could ask about the Romulan ship, I suppose, although I don't think that would come under this scan, would it?
I mean, it was a pretty successful scan. I'd give it to you.
Okay.
It was a very successful scan.
Yeah, could we get any information about the crashed Romulan vessel?
Yeah, sure. All right. So so you want to spend a point of momentum for that, Sarah?
Yep.
Okay. So the Romulan ship is certainly its wreckage. So it appears as though the ship came into the atmosphere and onto the planet in pieces. As you're scanning more, you direct your scan towards the ship, towards the wreckage of the Romulan ship. The sort of configuration of the compounds in the hull, from what little Starfleet knows about the history of Romulan vessels, you discover that it appears as though this Romulan ship was one that was in service during the Earth Romulan War, and there seems to be some damage and scorch marks consistent with Starfleet ship weaponry of the same time. So you can pretty much deduce that the ship was destroyed by a Starfleet vessel and then fell to the planet. So you have one more point of momentum. Do you want to spend it or bank it? You know what? I'm just going to tell you bank it because there's really not much more to learn.
Okay.
So, bank that.
The only other thing I might want to know is, are there definitely no Romulan or any life signs in the Romulan wreckage?
Do you want to spend that point for that?
I think it could be very relevant.
Sarah, it's
But
ultimately your decision.
Yeah, okay, we'll
Yeah?
see what we can find out about.
Okay. So you spend that point. So continuing the scans. Now that you've scanned the moss and sort of the area around, you can get a clear, reading on if there are any other life signs in the vicinity, and other than the small creatures you observed when you first landed on the captain's yacht, when you first exited the captain's yacht, there's no other intelligent life alive anyway. There's certainly organic material in the debris, but it is of perished Romulans from 6 years ago, and they from what you can tell, they died in the explosion and not on the planet. So the only life sign other than the away team is the individual who attacked you.
Very well. We should turn our attention to our injured officer and the human survivor. Doctor, can you do anything for Lieutenant Hassar?
Do you have the character sheet, Lance? I can get it for you if you don't.
Yeah, no, I've got it.
You do? Okay, great.
Wow, the doctor sounds a lot like our helmsman. Wow.
Another voice is not required, Lance, no matter what Phil says.
I'm expecting a Scottish accent.
Wow.
So I think the first thing would be to scan the injured guy to see what type of treatment he needs.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Let me let's see. Yep. So it's going to be a control medicine task with a difficulty of 2.
All right. Can I use the emergency medicine focus?
Yep,
Or is
absolutely.
that more for treatment?
No, that's fine. Yeah, I'll let you use that.
Okay, so I get to roll 3 with that, right?
No, so the focus is what's her medicine number?
4.
So if you roll a 4 or less, it counts as 2 successes instead of like having to roll the 1. So it's difficulty 2, and so right now you're at 2 dice, unless you want to buy more or improve it any other way.
Commander, should I spend some momentum?
I think it's a good idea, yes.
All right, I'll spend 1 momentum to get another die.
Okay.
Okay. I'll
So that'll bring the momentum down to 3. All right, so it's a control medicine difficulty of 2.
So I got 5, 7, and 14.
So 5, a 7, and a 14. And what's the control science total?
14.
14. Oh, look at that! 3 successes. Great. So that'll give you 1 point of momentum. So the so you do a scan of the patient, of the attacker, and you certainly confirm that that he has ingested some of the nearby water, and the psychotropic compound is definitely affecting his perception and his reason. He's almost acting on baser instincts, and is more than likely hallucinating. So it's probably it's probably pretty clear that when he saw you, he did not see officers, Starfleet officers. He probably saw something that he considered a threat. So you have
did
one.
I discern what type of treatment he might need?
Well,
From the
you know that the psychotropic compound from the water is what's causing it. So if you want to do a look for a treatment, like figure out a treatment, I would recommend studying the water.
All right, so let's
And you have
scan the water.
Okay, you want to bank that 1 point of momentum?
Commander?
I think bagging it is the right call here.
All right, let's bank that.
Okay.
And what are we shooting for?
All right. So you walk over to the nearby stream that's running through the forest, and you scan that. So that's going to be a where is it? That's going to be a reason medicine with a difficulty of 3, and Temna can assist as well if you want.
Okay.
So it's a difficulty of 3, and it's reason medicine. And if Temna, if you assist, then you would assist with a reason science, and you would roll 1 die because you're assisting. So right now you're at 3 dice with 2 different targets on a difficulty of 3. So let me know if you want to improve those odds at all. Through.
I'm happy to
Yeah,
assist, though.
What's that?
All right, yeah. I will take her assistance, and then can I, since I already banked that momentum, can I spend another one actually, because with the difficulty?
Yep. It's a new new check. So.
Okay.
All right. So. So you're going to spend 1 momentum to add a 3rd die. So Lance, you're going to be rolling 3 on a reason medicine, and Sarah, you're going to be rolling 1 on a reason science. Correct?
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
At a difficulty of 3. All right. Go ahead.
Ended up with 3 successes, a 12, 5, and an 11.
Okay.
I got an 8.
And I'm assuming that's a success for you.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 4 successes total. All right, so that'll give you 1 point of momentum. All right, so you go over and scan the water, and you scan. You maybe even get a sample of the water. You check the readouts, and sure enough, it gives you the correct correct recipe for the hypo spray to be able to heal, to neutralize the psychotropic compound.
Excellent. So then I'm going to go back to our attacker and administer treatment.
Okay. So that is going to be the only concern is the amount of the amount of medicine you need to give the patient. So it's going to be, and because you're not on the ship, because you're not in sick bay, this is a bit of a difficult thing. So this is going to be an insight medicine task with a difficulty of 3.
Insight medicine difficulty at 3.
And you
I'll
could
do
certainly
that,
use
and
the emergency medicine focus.
I will use that, and also I'm going to spend another momentum.
Okay, so you did have an extra one. I'm assuming that got banked, so we'll go ahead and spend that to do another one. And do they have any talents? I forget if support characters have talents.
No, there's nothing listed.
Okay, just focuses. Okay. All right,
I
so
think
that's.
she's in a jazz band.
Is she really?
Yeah,
Does it
with
say that?
Riker, I think.
Oh.
No, it does not.
'Cause I created the character. I don't even remember if I put that in there or not. All right,
Well,
so
she
that's
was excited to treat the
It's
attacker since
collaborative
it's very.
storytelling.
all right. So right now you're rolling 3 dice on a difficulty 3. You good with that? Oh, you there, Lance?
Yep.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can now. All right, so you're good with
Sorry.
you're good with the 3.
Yep. I rolled 5, 5, and 8.
5, 5, and 8. And what was the medicine? The medicine discipline was a 4. You said.
Medicine discipline was 4. That's right.
Okay, and this was a insight medicine task. And what was that total?
That was 13.
13. Okay, great. So 3 successes. So you did it. You got the right dosage. You administered the remedy, and you take a follow-up scan just to confirm. And sure enough, the psychotropic drug is being neutralized within his system. It, probably take a maybe 2 or 3 minutes for it to fully neutralize. In the meantime, his body is so exhausted and weary from just barely surviving on this planet that he is unconscious and shows no signs of regaining consciousness at this time.
All right. So I'm going to defer back to our commander as far as next steps.
I suggest that you take a look at our injured lieutenant, and then we take everyone back to the captain's yacht.
Okay. All right. So I will scan the injured lieutenant for treatment.
I'll save you the scan. There's an arrow sticking out of her arm.
I forgot that. Maybe.
You visually scanned with your eyes, and I don't have a sound effect for that, but you visually scan with your eyes, and
All right, so I'm gonna remove the arrow and then suture up the wound.
Okay.
Use the emergency medicine focus.
All right, so that's going to be a control medicine. And I will, if somebody with a difficulty of 2, and if somebody wants to assist by holding Hisar down while he yanks
I will do that.
the arrow. You'll do that? Okay. So for you, it's going to be a fitness security check. And
Very well.
so this is a difficulty of 2. I'm assuming you don't want to. Do you want to buy any more dice, or are you good? You have 3 momentum.
No, I'm not going to buy any.
Okay, all right. So it's a control medicine for you, Lance, and a fitness security for Selleck.
Commander, I do recommend you hold Arcation by the scruff.
Very well.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
I forgot to get the screaming
waxy
cat
fur
sound.
slipped beneath my hands.
What did you did you roll any successes? What'd you roll?
I did not. I rolled a 17.
A 17. Okay. So that's not a success.
So
what
I
did,
failed to hold them down.
You got scratched.
what did you
We were on
I
a
rolled
streak.
2 successes.
What?
and
2
8 and a
successes?
2.
8 and a 2. Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's fine because it was a difficulty 2 to do the entire task. So you you look at Hisar and you say, Commander, hold her down a little bit. This might hurt. Hisar kind of closes her eyes and winces a little bit. You yank the you yank the arrow out, and she fights a little, but Commander Sovek's able to keep her down enough so that it doesn't cause any more damage. Then you take out the auto suture. You suture up the internal wound, and then you take out the dermal regenerator, and you fix the dermal regenerator, and then you apply an analgesic cream, or an analgesic, just to make sure that it doesn't get infected or anything like that, just on the safe side. So she kind of rotates her arm, and
Thank you, doctor.
yeah, and she's feeling much better.
Okay, then let us bring everyone back to the captain's yacht, as I believe we've learnt all that we can, and I am most curious to see how our captain is doing.
All right, so everybody gets on board the captain's yacht, and who is going to take the helm?
Someone with a con better than 1, so not me.
I have a con of 2.
The doctor is a con of 2 as well.
Any advance on 2? If not,
3.
there we go.
I will take the con, Commander.
All right,
Nice.
so
You took an arrow, and now you're taking the con.
Yep.
It's a good thing you patched her up. So a couple of you grab the unconscious human attacker, whatever you want to call him, and you bring him into the captain's yacht. Hisar takes her seat at the con and starts to fire up engines. There are a couple of other seats available too, if anybody wants to man a console. But as you start to take off and you're sort of plotting your course back up, back out of the planet's atmosphere, you notice that the gravitational forces have increased since you guys came down. So it's going to be a little bit of a tricky ascent to get up there. So Hisar, you are going to have to do a control con or a daring con, depending on how you want to do this. And somebody can certainly sit at one of the other consoles and help plan a safer trajectory and assist in this if you want. That's probably going to be a reason science.
Difficulty?
It's going to be a difficulty of 2.
2. Okay. Control 10, con 3. I'm not going to do anything extra.
Okay. Does anybody want to assist?
I can assist.
Okay. So it'll be a reason science for you. What's that number?
17.
17. All right. Any focuses?
That's a good number.
Any
Wow.
focuses you two can apply?
No.
Okay. All right. Difficulty of 2. Do you want to buy any more dice? You good?
I'm good.
Okay.
11 and 8.
Sarah's mic stopped. 1 sec.
Oh, no, it's working again now. It's still
It's
working.
the mic.
So that's 1 die for you, Sarah.
So that's an 8.
An 8. All right. So that's 3 successes, right? All right. So you've got 1 point of temporary momentum. So, yeah, Commander Temna sits down, plots a safe trajectory, sends that over to the con. Lieutenant Hassar takes the trajectory, fires up the thrusters. The captain's yacht slowly starts to lift off. You start to ascend up into the atmosphere. It's a little bit shaky, but it's not too bad. The trajectory is pretty good. It's every once in a while there's a bit of a shudder from the gravitational forces. And it almost is in a rhythm. You can almost hear the rhythm of the gravitational forces coming out of the anomaly and slamming into the hull of the ship as you ascend up. It's a little noisy, not the smoothest takeoff, but not the worst. You were sort of everyone was sort of expecting a lot worse than this. So as you're coming out of the atmosphere, you see that the anomaly, and I don't know if you can see you see the little ship there?
Yes.
All right, great. I think you're at 3 and you have 1 momentum. All right. Do you want to bank that point of momentum, that temporary point? You made it up out of the atmosphere. There's really not much more. So,
Yes.
all right. So we'll bank that. So as you come up, you see that the anomaly has gotten much larger, and you see that the anomaly has gotten much larger, and the ship, you don't spot the ship right away. Actually, it takes you a minute, and you kind of see. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. You could. Oh, good Lord. You can kind of make out the ship inside the, as if it's just entered the anomaly.
Hey, did we remember to bring up the attacker with us?
Yes, yeah, you did.
Yes.
Yeah.
You carried them onto the.
I knew we had forgotten something.
Turn around.
Down you go.
So you're leaving the planet. You notice that the ship is on, sort of just entering. Actually, where'd it go? There it is. You can see that the ship is inside the anomaly. So what would you guys like to do?
Can we raise them on comms?
So you you try to hail the ship. So what would you like to say?
Captain, this is your yacht. Are you reading us?
This is your yacht. um, there's
Correction. I have rechristened it the Commander's Boat.
So there's no response. It's as though your hails aren't even making it to the ship, right? There's no static, there's no nothing. It's as if, there's nobody there to receive it. It doesn't connect at all. So
Beyond running sensor scans of the anomaly and the ships within, I am at a loss for suggestions.
Should we try to raise Starfleet? I mean, I'm only the counselor. I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do, but when a suggestion is asked for, it is given.
It is a reasonable suggestion. However, I do not feel it is the captain's style to ask for help.
I respect that, Commander, but if I may speak freely.
No.
Thank
Of
you.
course you may speak freely.
I do not see. There's no captain. There's no captain here. Perhaps we should, call some for some help if we can't find the Sovereign.
Commander, I gave you permission to speak freely, not sass freely.
Understood.
and you can see that the ship is inside the anomaly. Like it's just entered the anomaly. So you know where the ship is.
Yes, I'm not immediately super concerned about the ship. The captain is competent. I'm sure he will see the Sovereign through.
I thought that I was not supposed to give sass, Commander. I was unaware that you could.
A suggestion, sir.
Rank has its privileges. Go ahead.
What if we tractor the ship out? Or attempt to?
Since we can't make contact, we don't know whether that would be helpful or a hindrance. Unless it's clear they're in distress.
Also, the captain's yacht does not have a tractor beam. And even if it did, there's no way that it could pull a Sovereign.
That was my whole strategy. Darn it.
You made them take the captain's job because you were hoping they could.
I wanted them to pull me out. That was my strategy.
It's purely organized.
Commander, does the yacht have any probes equipped on it? Maybe we could use that to link communications to the ship.
A logical thought. Does the yacht have any sort of probe?
It does not. No.
Okay. I
just want to double check. I don't even think it. I think it has phasers. I don't even think it has. You know what? It doesn't. I don't think there's an official. I don't think there's an official. Oh, I didn't.
I think there is a stat block, but I don't remember what book it is in.
I don't think that. I thought I looked for it and I couldn't find it, but I would say that it's comparable to a runabout, which I can look that up here. But
Helm, could I get an estimate of how dangerous it would be to take our ship into the anomaly?
you want to?
Certainly, sir.
Yeah, I'll just give you that information.
Okay.
The ship, right now with the current size of the anomaly and the gravitational stresses, you could take the ship in with minimal minimal risk. Certainly, the longer you stay in the anomaly, the more dangerous it gets. But you could take it into the anomaly.
I mean, I've got a suggestion. Could we scan the ship to see the life signs on board to make sure, see if everybody's okay, and whether everyone's still there, as we don't know what effects this anomaly might have on the crew on the ship.
A good thought. I think we should do that.
All right. So that's going to be a reason science check with a oh, here we go. Hang on. All right. I have the stats for the runabout. So that's going to be a reason science check with a difficulty of 3. The ship can certainly help with a sensor science check, but the sensors are 7 and the science is 0. And then somebody else can also assist if you wanted to do that. And then of course you have you do have 4 momentum if you want to purchase dice.
What would the assist value need to be?
What's that?
What would the assist? Would it be a different stat to check?
So you tell me how you want to assist. I mean, do you want to assist therapeutically, or do you want to assist scientifically, or
Could I assist by ordering it?
Well, no, my science is it's 3. It's not high, but it's not low. And maybe I saw someone do a scan once, or
well, I mean,
learn how to do it.
Being a commander in Starfleet, you certainly have taken science classes, so you could easily assist in a scan. So yeah, we could, it would, for you it would be a reason science also. So if you wanted to assist, and then I'm assuming you want to order the science officer to do the scan.
Yes.
All right. Selleck, do you want to roll for the ship? I'm assuming even though it's a 7, you might want to try assisting with the ship.
It doesn't hurt to roll up until it does.
Okay.
But yes, let's roll for the ship.
So Sarah, what's your reason science?
17.
17. All right. And Phil, what's Hans' reason science?
So my reason science is 12, but I do have a talent associated with reason.
What's that?
It's the augmented ability reason.
Oh, sure. What does it do?
I have a useful thing. Sure. What is it? I don't know.
It's okay.
Bringing them out.
So while he's looking that up, so that's going to be a total of 4 dice. So 1 for Phil, 1 for the ship that Selleck's going to roll, and 2 for Sarah. And what did I say? This difficulty of 3.
What
right?
was the difficulty again?
3. Difficulty of 3.
Okay.
I got
The command.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did
Go
you
ahead.
want to? Sorry,
So it says that I can increase the complication range by 2 for the task.
Let's not do that.
Oh, okay. No, well,
Does that mean I get more of a? So I need a 12. Does that mean I get a 14 buffer?
no. So the complication.
No, that's the
No.
opposite.
So the complication range is, so a complication occurs on a 20. If there's certain circumstances, the complication range can increase based on traits in a scene or events that happened. So then if the complication range increases, then a complication would occur on a 19 or a 20. And then if it increases another level, it would occur on an 18, 19, or 20. So what is it? So what does your talent say?
So it says you gain the extraordinary attribute 1 special rule for that attribute, so it'd be reason. And then when you use the ability, you increase the complication range by 2 for the task.
Oh, okay. So so what's the first part? So it changes your attribute. So what is that? Does it say what that does?
It just says you gain something. You know, we can. This is my fault. I should have looked it up. I'm sorry. We can just skip it, and we can come back to it. Like, well, I'll just normally roll.
Okay. That's fine. So I think basically what happens with that, Phil, just to summarize, is that you get a bonus to that attribute. So it would increase your reason. I'm assuming, and we'll have to look up whatever that special rule is. And then the drawback is that it increases the complication range. So you get a higher stat value for your reason, but if you roll an 18, 19, or 20, then a complication occurs. Got it?
I see.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, Sarah, you already rolled, correct?
Yeah, I got a 3 and a 1.
A 3 and a 1.
Nice.
Do you have any focuses that would apply here?
I got science.
Yeah, I'll give you that. What's your science
A
number?
wonderfully broad focus.
What was that? Sorry.
What's your science number?
It's 5.
It's 5. All right. So, okay, that's going to be good for you. All right. Selleck, go ahead and roll if you haven't already and tell me what you got.
The commander's boat did not roll well. We did not succeed, but no complication.
All right. And Phil, you roll 1 die to assist. Reason science?
Yeah, it's, and I found the rule too. I rolled an 11, so I just made it.
Okay. That's nice. That's 5 successes. All right. So it's a difficulty of 3, which means that you have 2 extra momentum.
We're scanning the tribble dung out of this ship.
So you you scan the you're scanning the ship, correct?
Yes, the Sovereign.
Okay. And what specifically are you looking for, Temna? Did you have a specific thing, or are you just scanning?
Just to see the status of the crew. Like,
Okay.
are they all there? Are they alive?
Yeah, so you scan, you start your scans, and there's definitely something wrong with the sensor array, or at least the gravitational fields, the gravitational eddies are affecting the sensors, and it's almost like you're getting delayed results back. Right? You're still getting the sensor information, but it's coming back sort of like a little bit longer than it should. So it almost makes you think that the scan data that you have is like offset a little bit. You scan the ship, looking at the crew specifically, and nothing out of the ordinary pops up. The only thing that sort of surprises you is that the crew complement seems to be off by 1. So you have 2 points of momentum you can spend or bank. Either to gain more information about the ship or the situation with the scan.
I think we should find out more about the scan.
Okay, like the ship in relation to the anomaly or something?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So spend 1. So you are. So you're continuing the scan of the ship just to make sure that the ship itself is intact. You notice that there are some power fluctuations within the ship. A heavy drain on the power systems, and it's a little concerning because it seems as though the ship's power will not that the anomaly is affecting the ship's power quite a bit, and if the anomaly gets any stronger, which you've already observed that it's gotten bigger since you first went down to the planet, that there may be some serious issues with the ship's power system. The other thing that you notice is you kind of out of the corner of your eye catch this other little power spike that isn't emanating from the ship or even inside the anomaly, but in the system itself, and almost as if there's something else in the system that's got a low power frequency. So you have 1 point of momentum left to spend or bank.
I highly suggest we find out more about that other power spike.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
That will have to be a separate scan. So do you want to bank this and then...
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's bank this. And then tell me what you would like to do.
Commander Temna, I would like to learn more about that mysterious energy spike.
Okay, I'll do another scan then.
All right, so that is going to be... bear with me one moment. Where did it go? It's going to be a... oh my God, where did it go? I am so sorry. I have lost... I've lost where I'm looking for.
I'm also considering assisting the task by boosting power to the sensor array.
I wouldn't worry too much about that because the sensors are oh no, I'm sorry, the sensors are 7. No, you're right. I can't believe that all right. Anyway, sorry, I can't. Apparently, I've completely lost what I was looking for. So it is going to be a... it's going to be a reason science with a difficulty of 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I assist by manipulating the commander's boat's power systems?
So this will be a separate task from the scan. So you want to set something up before you actually do the scan?
Well, I was hoping to just assist in the scan, but I'm happy to set something up.
So you can assist in the scan, but boosting the systems is a separate task from assisting in the scan.
Okay.
Like the boosting of the systems is an actual task in and of itself, and then the scanning and assisting with that is a separate task.
Yeah, I'll do it as a separate task then, because my science skills are useless, but I have good engineering skills.
Great. Okay. I found what I was looking for, and I gave you the correct. Difficulty. So I feel good about myself. All right. I'm sorry. What are you doing?
I'm rerouting power to the sensors to boost the scan.
Okay. So that's going to be a reason engineering check with a difficulty of 1.
Okay. I won't spend any momentum.
Okay. What's your reason engineering? Sorry, did I say reason or control?
You said reason.
Yeah, whatever. I'll give it. Yeah. What's your reason? What's your reason engineering?
It's 15.
15. Okay.
Does a focus on hands-on engineering apply here?
Sure. Yeah, I'll give it
Okay,
to you.
then 4 successes because I rolled 2 3s.
Jesus. All right. Okay then. All right. So that's so it's a difficulty of 1. So that's going to give you 3 successes. All right. So I will allow you to boost the sensors by 1 for each point of momentum you spend.
Okay, how much momentum? Okay, then since we've got a temporary of 3 and we can only bank 1,
you can
at least 2 momentum should be spent.
Yeah, and you can spend more than the 3. It would come out of your banked momentum. But yeah.
So spending 2 momentum lowers the difficulty by the next scan by 2.
No, sorry, it increases the sensor attribute by however much. So right now, the yacht sensors is at 7. So for every point of momentum you spend, it increases that up. So if you spent all 3, it would put the sensors at a 10. So then if the ship rolled a 10 or less, it would succeed.
If no one objects, I would like to spend 3 momentum then to increase the stat up to 10. Give us a good 50-50 chance.
Sounds good.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. All right. So your sensors are boosted to a 10 for this next. Task. So all right. So you had a reason science with a difficulty of 4. Do you want to do the same thing you did before with Temna and Han assisting, and then Selleck, you roll for the ship?
And actually, I looked up the talent to be more clear, and it says that the extraordinary attribute for whatever your attribute you're using. So in this case, it'd be reason because I have that ability. I gain 1 success on all tasks using reason, in addition to any generated by rolling. So the way I'm reading that is that we'll get 1 success, regardless, but I could get a second if I roll well.
Correct. Oh, you could even get 2 more if you rolled a 1.
Correct.
And but again, the drawback is that it increases the complication range by 2. Correct. So that means that for you, if you roll an 18, a 19, or a 20, it creates a complication.
And that only applies to Han. That complication increase doesn't apply to the other 2 rollers.
When I looked at it, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it only applied to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
you want to do that, we're going to need as many successes as possible, and I'm willing to risk complications to do it.
It's the most I've done in 2 weeks. I'm there, Commander. I'm ready.
Very well.
Put me in.
Does anyone else have any suggestions before we start rolling?
And Temna, your science focus will obviously apply. So.
I also have an astrophysics focus as well, which I think might apply in this.
You can only pick one or the other. So.
Pick the nice big broad science focus for everything.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing it does is that if you apply 1 or more focuses, whatever your discipline number that you're rolling against will create 2 successes if you roll equal to or less than. So it doesn't, as long as you're getting 1 applicable focus, it doesn't matter. That's all you need.
Okay then.
Okay. Well. Do you want to buy any more dice, Temna? Before we start rolling? Because this is a difficulty 4. Are you okay? You're confident? Okay.
If she already rolled, did you already roll? Then you can't buy any more dice.
No, not yet.
Oh, you haven't rolled. Okay. So no more dice? You're good with what we got?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll, everybody.
I got 6 and 16.
6 and 16. And what was your science?
It's
discipline number?
17, so.
No, but what was your science number? Just the science.
Oh, that's 5.
5. Okay, so you got two successes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 2 successes from you. Selleck, what'd the ship roll?
The commander's boat rolled a 12. It betrayed me.
Okay. Phil, what did you roll?
I got lucky. I got a 10. So
Okay.
that's under,
So that's
under
two-
the 12.
Yep. So that's 2 successes from Han, Commander Han, and 2 successes from Temna. So that's the 4 successes, with no momentum generated. All right. So
The talent comes through.
that's good, because if something had happened, it was not going to go well. So you redirect the sensor array towards the point where you saw the blip, and you do an intensive sensor scan. You run through different bands of sensor frequencies, searching for that power source. And in fact, you sort of search in the low band frequencies of the power sources. You're looking for probes. You're looking for possibly an escape pod. And then you start to go further into the power bands of, an undetonated torpedo. And then it hits, and you register the power signature, and you check against the database, and it turns out that that it is an old Romulan mine. And if you look at your screen, you should see a mine appear on the map. And as you scan the mine specifically, you sort of check the communication frequencies from the mine, and it's definitely broadcasting signals and receiving signals from several other nearby mines that are also cloaked. So you've revealed the location of one of those cloaked mines. So it is still cloaked, but you know where it is.
This is a most concerning development. Do you think we could safely detonate any of these mines?
Well, I will let you think about that, because I'm actually going to cut to the bridge of the ship. So while that's all happened, you've all come from the surface, and you've come from the surface. The captain's yacht has come up from the surface. While you've all been doing that, we cut back to the bridge of the Sovereign. Oh no, where did everybody go? Did I just drop? Oh,
He's back.
And that's the end of the episode. Good job, everybody.
Good job, guys.
We won.
Holy cow. All right. Sorry.
The mine's got him. We weren't fast enough.
Tony's exploded.
Sorry,
When
what
you
was
sit on that much threat, you're really taking a risk.
Yeah, really. What was the last thing that you that you heard me say?
That we won. That we were successful in everything.
Oh, okay, great. All right. So, sorry. No, what was the last thing that
You were gonna cut back to the ship.
you didn't hear any of that stuff. Okay, great. All right. So, so while the away team and the captain's yacht has left the surface and has come up and done their scans, while that was happening, we cut back to the bridge of the USS Sovereign, excuse me. And Lance, I don't suppose you also grabbed Kertrak's character sheet too,
No, I've
did
got
you?
it in front of me.
All right, great. All right, so we're on the bridge. So again, what's just happened is Traylar has disappeared from the bridge, and Captain Shepard, you jumped on the helm and you have stabilized the ship. So you are inside the anomaly. I'm going to spend. Let me see. I think you guys were at 5. I think you guys were at 5 momentum. I'm going to spend 3 momentum to decrease the power level of the ship by 3.
Don't you mean threat?
Sorry, I'm spending 3 threat to decrease the power level of the ship by 3. So, Panda, do you have the ship sheet?
Yes.
Great. So what's the? Actually, I'm going to open up the. I'm going to open up the ship sheet as well. So what's the?
Generally, it's at 11 out of 11.
So 11. So that I think there's 2 different slots, right? You should be able to adjust.
Yeah.
You should be able to adjust the levels. So, so the current power level is 8, correct?
It is now.
All right. So, and just so you know, so a couple of rules that are happening right now is that because of the power drain from the anomaly, the difficulty to do power management tasks has increased by 1. And the ship will start draining power. So every time we when you progress to a new scene, not a previous scene that's been going on, but a new scene, every time we switch to a brand new scene, 1 power will be deducted from the current power levels. Okay.
Okay, are we saying that this is a brand new scene now then?
No. This currently is a continuation of the scene we left off in
Okay.
when you guys entered the anomaly. So, all right. So, all right. So you're stable inside the anomaly. You have no idea what's been happening with the captain's yacht. You have no idea where they are or what they're doing. And all you know is that you have just entered the anomaly. There is now a power drain on the ship, and Traylar disappeared, and you've stabilized the ship inside the anomaly. What would you like to do?
Engineering, status report.
He's got a tickle in his throat.
Yes.
He's got a hairball.
Not in any way you've heard. Captain, we're experiencing. Also, wait. Where's Lieutenant Traylar?
Trailer is not here at the moment. Stay on task. Report? What's going on down there?
Noted. Right, yes. Captain, we are experiencing power drain across basically every system. The longer we stay in this anomaly, the more we risk absolutely losing power from the core, from auxiliary, from the batteries, from everything.
Can we try reversing the polarity on our tractor beams and push ourselves out using the tractor beam?
Flip to repulsor? Sure. I mean, certainly, sir, if you can tell me what we need to push off of.
Is there any way we can shore up the shielding or the armored plating?
For all we know right now, the shields are the source of the power drain. So
Okay.
I'm not sure we should put more energy into that. I can
Okay,
determine, but so far, if you ask me where we're losing power from, the answer is everything.
Okay, well, I'd like to do a diagnostic and see exactly where we can save power and what we can divert.
All right, so that is a power management task, I assume?
No, to do the diagnostic, that would just be a reason engineering check with a difficulty of 0.
Okay. We've got 5 momentum. Let's buy an extra die.
Buy an extra die. It's a difficulty of 0.
Yeah, but do you want me to roll?
It's up to you. You don't have to roll, but I mean,
I'd say just make the scan. We've got
right.
5 already. We don't need extra momentum.
Scanning. I do love how you assume I'll automatically fail and add to the momentum. Although, to be fair, that's kind of what I have been intimating the entire time. So I'm glad we're all on the same pad. Anyway, scanning, doing scan, making with the scan type thing. There we go.
all right. So you run a diagnostic on all the power systems. It's pretty clear that the power drain is mostly coming from the inertial dampers and the stabilization controls of the ship. So what keeps it in place, the thrusters, all the engine systems that are keeping it stable. So that's certainly some of the power drain. The other part of the power drain is just simply the power is leaking from the warp core and seems to be almost just disappearing. Like it's not, you can't tell where it's going. You just know that it's leaving. The best guess you can make is that it's almost as if the energy is phasing out of its containment units. The EPS conduits. It's simply just like phasing out of it and dissipating. More than likely a cause from the anomaly.
Okay, is there any way to tell which way the anomaly is pulling gravity? Like, is it pulling it towards it? Is it?
Yeah. It's pulling you in. And remember, I don't know if you remember, but there's something at the center. I think I told you
Yes.
this. There's something at the center of it, and also you caught a glimpse of possibly another ship.
In the event horizon. Is there any
there's
way
two. So just to be clear, there is something at the center. There's also something else in the anomaly that that had you could almost barely make out a nacelle of some sort. So
is there any way that we can sort of use the gravity to slingshot ourselves out of the anomaly? Or would it be worth pulling ourselves back in? Engineering, what do you think? Go deeper or try and get out?
you did discover with the scans that whatever was at the center seemed to be responsible for at least the gravitational effects of what was going on.
Engineering, is there any way we can shore up our defenses against the gravity, or use the gravity to pull ourselves towards the object at the center? Switch off the inertial dampeners.
If we switch off the inertial dampeners, we're going to need someone to spatula us off all the bulkheads.
Okay.
If we want to get down to the center of the anomaly immediately, we just kill power to the station keeping, to the thrusters, to the impulse drive, and then then we will end up in the center of the anomaly fast enough.
Okay, do it. Do that. Kill the engines. Just take us in.
I mean, that could also be a helm control too. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
Then I'll do it. I'll take us in.
All right, so that's what you'd like to do. You'd like to reduce stabilization power and head towards the
center of the anomaly.
Okay. All right. So you reduce power. Oh, sorry, that one's you're not supposed to see that one.
Spoilers.
It's fine. It's fine. You're about to see it anyway. But it should have been over here. All right. So you reduce power to the station keeping, and then all of a sudden, the computer starts to alarm. There's a collision alert happening, and you register another ship off of the port bow as you approach closer into the anomaly.
Engineering. Can you get a scan of that ship? What are we about to hit?
Don't forget, there's also Lances on the bridge with you as Kreetrax.
Kreetrax,
Or
report.
Kertrax.
Kertrax, report. What are we about to hit?
Let me scan the object, Captain, and I'll determine what we've got.
Yep.
Do that.
That's a reason science with a difficulty of 1. And either of the other 2 of you can assist. Actually, the ship can assist too. Panda, if you two, James and Panda, you decide if one of you want to assist in the scan yourselves, and then the other person will roll for the ship science sensors.
Narratively, I think it makes sense if I roll for the ship and Captain, who's sitting right next to Kertrax, assists.
Sounds
Band
good.
is very difficult to hear.
Seriously, I have maxed out the gain on this thing. Hold on. Is that any better?
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah,
Sweet. It's not going back down, so I hope you're happy.
All right, so it's a difficulty of 1. So is that what you guys want to do? You want Panda? You want to do the ship, and James, you want to assist?
I do.
All right, so so James, for you, it'll be a you know what? I'll make it a presence command check because Kertrax wants to really impress the captain, and you're kind of like, you're very authoritative. So, all right. So, what is Kertrax's reason science number?
10 reason science 2.
All right, so that's a 12 target. And James, what's your presence command?
Okay, so my command's 5, presence is 8. Give me a 13.
So 13. All right. And then the ship's science sensors. And actually, the refit, you guys put a point into sensors, so it's a +1. So that's
Nice.
going to be a 14, Panda.
Okay. Sure.
All right. Assuming you guys don't want to buy any more dice, you can go ahead and roll if you want.
I'd like to buy 1 more dice.
1 more? It's a difficulty of 1, and you're rolling 4 dice.
Oh, okay. Never mind. No, I don't.
We
think
really
that's
do need to figure out what we're about to hit.
fine. Yeah, I do. I do think so.
You want to buy one? Oh, I just realized I don't think I put the. Did I put the momentum counters on here? I didn't. All right, let me do that. All right, so. Oh, what was going? Oh, shoot! Oh, I really did that, didn't I? Too much threat. All the threat. All the threat.
Very threatening.
Yeah, all the threat. This map is huge.
They
by
caused
the
the
way.
captain to lose his shirt.
All right, so there's that, and I think you guys are at 5, correct? Is that right? You guys
Believe
are at
so.
5 momentum. All right, so you're gonna buy 1, right? So that's 4. Sorry, those numbers are so small. All right. All right. So you're gonna buy one. That's 4. All right. So, sorry. Who's buy? So only Kertrax can buy the extra die. By the way.
Then I'll buy it.
Yeah. The assisting person can only roll 1, and the ship can only roll 1, and they cannot purchase additional dice. All right. All right. So go ahead and roll, and let me know what you got.
I got a 12. I was lucky. Well within 13.
Ship got a 1.
Ship got a 1.
Yeah,
Nice.
ship.
And Lance,
2 successes, a 10 and a 3 and a 17.
a 10, a 3, and a 17. Any focuses? What does he have for focuses?
Let's see. Computers and multitasker.
Can I get? I have a focus of inspirational. Does that benefit my score?
No. No, because you didn't roll under your command.
Oh, sad times.
Transporters and replicators, but I don't think that applies.
Yeah, no, it's fine. You guys got enough successes anyway. All right, so that's 2 plus 2. So that's 4 on a difficulty of 1. So it's going to give you 3 extra momentum.
Yes.
All right, which you can only bank 2 at the moment. So all right, so Kertrax uses all 3 of his limbs to punch in the scans, and immediately gets the results back. It's an NX class Starfleet vessel. It is its registry number is the NX 6, I think. We'll call it the NX6. Sorry, I lost my place. It's the NX06, the USS Atlantis, and it is, you are approaching it relatively fast. So in terms of the scanning, you have 3 points of momentum. You can only bank 2. So do you want to spend 1 for additional information from the scan?
We'll spend 1.
Yes.
So you spend 1. You also get back some dated information, because obviously it's, this ship is hundreds of years old, and you discover that the ship, from the readings you can ascertain from the effects of the gravitational fields of the anomaly against the hull of the ship, the deterioration, the shearing, any hull fractures or damage, you estimate that the ship has been in the anomaly for roughly 20 to 30 months. So somewhere around 2 years. Give or take a few months, but that's the range that you put the ship in there.
What's a 100-year-old ship doing in anomaly for 2 years? It's a museum piece.
So you have 2 points of momentum. Do you want to spend those for anything else on the scan, or do you want to bank them?
Can we bank them? What do you think, engineering? Should we bank them? Any suggestions for my bridge crew?
I say bank 1, use 1.
Bank 1, use 1 it is.
Agreed.
All right. Is there anything you would specifically like to know?
I'd like to know, is anyone alive aboard?
Oh, that's a good question.
Are we on a collision course?
Yeah.
You are in a collision course, but the ship momentum has paused long enough for the scan results. The ship is moving at the speed of plot. So you immediately register the life signs. The crew complement of an NX class ship of this age was 83, and you scan 50 life forms aboard.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Okay, so bank the rest, I guess. Is there any way that we can get a tractor lock on it and
so right now you're hurtling towards the ship. So
Okay,
if you do any other action than to stop that, you're gonna hit the ship.
Okay, can we push the ship slightly out the way using a repulsor?
You want to use the tractor beams?
I want to use the tractor beams.
You want to pull a cause and effect?
I do want to pull the cause and effect. Yeah.
All right, and you're sure this is the correct thing. Are you
sure? Because the tractor beam was the wrong call in that episode.
Captain, I recommend we depressurize one of the cargo bays.
I mean, I would like to point out that you have not lost engine control. You have engine control. You've chosen.
Okay, I'm going to turn the engine. I'm going to turn the engines back on and stop ourselves.
All right, so you're going to
the best course of action.
All right, so you're gonna slow the ship down. All right,
I'm going to slow the ship down.
So that's going to be a control con. No, actually, you know what? It's going to be a daring con. Because a daring con, because this is quick action here. You gotta snap into action. So daring.
You're gonna crash, everyone.
Daring con with a difficulty of 2.
Okay, let's go. Could I buy some additional dice for this, please?
Let me see.
Captain, what is your numbers?
Okay, my daring is 8 and my con is 3. That gives me only 11 to do.
The ship can assist with engines con.
Okay. And can I buy an additional dice, please? Perhaps 2.
You can, yeah. So you're buying 1, right?
Yeah, buying 1.
Somebody's going to roll for the ship to assist. So that's a total of 4 dice.
I'll roll.
So
And
it's 4 dice, and it's a 2 success.
It's a difficulty of 2. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go with that. Okay.
Okay.
So how many dice am I rolling? 3 then?
You're rolling 3, and Panda, you're rolling for the ship. So that's
Okay,
one for Panda.
Okay.
What's your daring con, by the way?
It's 11, but I've had 2 successes. I had
Okay.
a 5, I had a 10, and then I got a 14, which was a fail.
Okay. And
Ship got a 14 as well.
ship got a 14, which is outside of its
Yeah.
con.
Engine's con is 13.
Engine's con is 13. Okay, so that's 2 successes on a difficulty of 2,
Difficulty of
right?
2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Kertrax screams out, "Sir, we're about to hit an NX class starship from 200 years ago." So you immediately jump on. You just get the engines fired back up and slowed down enough to bring the ship to a halt. Unfortunately, as part of that process, you did have to spend another point of power to halt the ship in time before you got it into before it collapsed. So you were down to 7.
Kertrax, hail them.
So Kertrax opens a hailing frequency. This is where you talk to them.
Frequencies opens,
Yeah.
Captain.
Thank you. Okay, this is Captain Shepard of the USS Sovereign. Can anyone... No, it's the NX Sovereign. Of the NX Sovereign. Do you respond? NX 06.
Nothing. No reply.
Okay. Try on any other frequency.
Try it on other frequencies, even the old style frequencies from that era, and receive nothing. Even on some of the frequencies, there's just static. There's no response whatsoever.
Engineering, can we get a transporter lock on any of the crew of that ship?
can certainly try, sir. How many are we looking for?
I'd preferably like anyone on the bridge of that ship. Even just one person would be helpful to get some information about what's been going on in this.
Are their shields up?
Are their shields up? Good question.
Do they even have shields?
That is true, because this is an NX class.
No, the NX classes don't have shields. They only have armor
Right.
plating.
Attempting one charitable abduction, sir.
Charitable abduction. Here we go.
So you you fire up the old transporter. Oh, sorry. That's the wrong one. You accidentally hit the hail button and then realized, no, he wanted me to beam somebody over. You focus your targeting scanners on the bridge of the NX class, and you discover there's no life signs on the bridge, and in fact, there's no atmosphere on the bridge. There has been some sort of a decompression event on the bridge, and there's nobody there.
Okay. Not helpful at all.
You also, yeah, that's all the information you discover without doing any more investigating.
Okay,
Captain,
so
can we use command codes from the library system to tap into internal sensors on the NX-06?
I mean, yeah, it sounds like an excellent idea. I'd like to do that.
Sounds awesome. I love the ingenuity. That's going to be a. That's going to be a insight security check with
Security.
with a difficulty of 1.
I have a 10 and a 3 for insight and security for Cretax.
I have a inside security of 11 and 3 as well.
11 and 3.
Which is higher.
So that's
So
a 14.
security 3.
And
11.
inside security 10-3 for Sayar as well.
All right, so that's so it sounds like the captain's gonna do that.
I'll do the roll. Could I buy an additional dice, please?
You can, and you can be assisted by the ship's.
I do have a focus in history as well. Does that help?
Yeah, I'll give you that. So the ship can assist with a computer security check.
All right.
And hey,
Let me know when can I roll?
Panda, also before in between this week and next week, remind me, or if you can look up what the improved power systems does for the talent on the Sovereign.
All right.
That might be. I just noticed that the ship has that, so that might be something helpful. All right, so it's a difficulty of 1. So the captain's rolling right now 2 dice with 1 focus. The ship is rolling 1, and do you want to purchase anything else, or are you
Just one die, if that's okay.
one die? All right, so you have 4 momentum, so you're going to spend 1 to buy an additional die. And let's see, the computer security is a 14. Okay, all right, so go ahead and roll. Difficulty of 1.
Okay, so I've got a 2, an 18, and last roll, and a 13.
13.
Which is
okay,
below.
that's 3.
So 2 successes.
No, it's 3. It's 3 because your focus makes that two successes.
Okay.
So it's 3 successes there. And what'd the ship roll?
Ship rolled a 19, so
Holy cow!
everyone just unclenched.
Oh, that was far too close.
All right, so so that's going to generate.
It's sweeps week for USS Sovereign. We're just pulling in all the drama.
That's going to generate. That's going to generate 2 additional momentum. So so you do a. So you work your magic with the computers. You use your history lessons how the the command codes of the old Starfleet NX vessels, and you tap into the internal sensors, which are almost non-existent. There's basically the sensor systems are barely functioning. And it's not for lack of anything wrong with them. It's just that the power has been reduced so much to the sensor systems and rerouted to other places that you can barely get some readings. One thing you discover is that the what little sensor power there is being directed towards the center of the anomaly. Any internal information you find, which is barely any, because the internal, like the use of the sensors is not being used internally at all, is that the information from the sensor readings is being sent to the astrometrics lab. So it appears as though there is somebody in there doing sensor investigation of this whatever object is at the center of the anomaly, and is retaining that sensor information in the astrometrics lab.
Captain, I think we're gonna have to board the ship.
I agree.
So you have 2 points of momentum. Do you want to bank them? You currently have 3 banked.
I think I'd like to use 1 just to get a bit more fix on the astrometrics bay itself.
I mean, you would know that. You would know where it's located.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
In that case, bank both, and I'd like to get a beam down to the ship directly to astrometrics, if at all possible.
Sure. Who are you taking with you? And I will let you know that the beaming will use up 1 point of power because of the situation. And I'm assuming, by the way, you've lowered your shields to reserve power.
Yes, we have lowered our shields. Okay. Yeah. I kind of want to leave Traylor here.
Well, Traylor is not here. He's disappeared. But
Traylor's disappeared. So
Kertrax is
Kertrax. I kind of meant Kertrax. I'd like to leave Kertrax here. And I think I might need an engineer, so I might take my chief engineer with me. If that makes any sense.
Dead silence over the comm badge, and then just, of course, sir.
I am going to pause. You know what? I'm going to pause right before you guys make that decision, and we're actually going to switch back to the captain's yacht.
And it is the captain's yacht, not the commander's boat. I'm having words with you when you get back aboard.
The commander's boat. As it were.
By the way, Captain, we're going to have a very brief lecture about relativity because, yes, it could be only 20 to 30 months down here and 200 years out there.
All right. So we, before that conversation about going over, we cut back to the runabout as it's discovered the Romulan mine, or possibly mines, in the vicinity, and the Sovereign is heading into whatever. All right. So what would you guys like to do?
I believe our first priority is to map out this potential Romulan minefield, as I feel this is a threat the Sovereign is not aware of.
Okay.
So, to that end, I would like Commander Temna to run some scans to see if they can discover any further mines. Now that we know broadly what we're looking for based on the power spike we detected earlier, I think it would be a good idea.
All right. So that's going to be an insight science check for Temna. with a difficulty of 3.
Do we still get the boosted sensors from earlier?
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
So do you want to do the same setup where Han assists and so
I also have my augmented ability insight trait
sorry,
or talent.
Well,
talent.
yours wouldn't be an insight. Yours would be a let's do a control science. No, let's do a reason science because that's what I gave you last time.
So the ship's still rolling a 10.
The ship's sensors are currently at a 10.
Okay.
So Temna, what's your insight science score?
16.
16. All right. So it's a difficulty of 3. And your science focus, your general science focus will apply. So you're rolling 2 currently. The ship will roll 1 against a 10, and then Phil, do you want to use your? Can you use your talent again?
Are talents one and done or no?
I don't know.
Is it a new scene? Are we in a new scene technically?
I mean, not really, but we'll just go with it, and I'll look it up later. So you can use it again if you want.
Okay, so we'll get one success automatically, and I'll see if I can roll a second.
Yeah, and then but the complication range increases for your roll to an 18 to 20. So what's your reason science?
That's a combination of 12.
12. Okay. All right. Do you guys want to buy any more dice? Or are you good?
Difficulty's 3, and we're rolling 4.
Difficulty is.
Yeah, I don't think we need to buy any more
No, we
dice
got mine.
You're
unless anyone
rolling.
really
You're
wants to.
rolling 4, and you already have 1 success.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
All right.
Okay, folks, roll away.
I got a 5.
I got a 15 and a 13.
13. And the ship?
That would have been failures for me.
The commander's boat rolled a 19.
Again with the 19.
Close.
Man, this captain's yacht is only for pleasure, apparently. Not scientific
Because
research.
he keeps calling it the wrong thing. It's offended by him.
All right. So that's a total of 4 successes on a difficulty of 3. So you do have one momentum. So you do a scan. You sort of piggyback off of the scan you did previously, the power signatures. Now you're sort of fine-tuning into the communication relays of the mines to see what signals they're sending to the other mines. You discover that there is one on the other side of the planet, which I just revealed, if you saw that. And then you don't see any that are, there are more, but there's something interfering with the signals that you can't quite get a lock on it. So if you want to spend that point of momentum, you can probably figure out at least what vicinity they're in.
I think we should, unless anyone has any better ideas.
No, I agree.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. So you dig down deep. You're all working hard, trying to narrow in on the communication relays of the mines, and you notice that the reason why they're so hard to find is because they're inside the anomaly themselves, and they are dangerously close to both ships inside the anomaly. And with that knowledge, we will pause for tonight. that is it for tonight's episode of the USS Sovereign. We want to thank everybody for watching. And I also wanted to mention that, every Saturday night, the Priority One Armada does our live stream where we play Star Trek Online. We go on away missions with you guys, the viewers, and we also have a round table for all the week's news in Star Trek Online. And, we then go on the away mission and jump in looking for marks, XP, and most importantly, dilithium. Also, every week, James here does the Accolade Hunter show, which is usually streamed on Mondays. Do we know when your next stream is?
Every Monday, 8 p.m. GMT till 11 p.m. GMT. I don't know what it is in your time, though.
What time is it in your time?
It's 8 p.m. GMT to 11 p.m. GMT. So what time is that
8 p.m.
in your time?
So that's
3 o'clock Eastern.
3 p.m.? Yeah, 3 p.m.
3 p.m. Eastern till I think 6 p.m.
Yes.
So which is that time? And also don't forget that tomorrow we have a special event going on where I will be attempting to play through the entire Star Trek Prodigy game all the way to the end in one stream. So tune in for that. It's going to be a little subathon we're hosting, so be joined to join the Prodigy-a-thon tomorrow.
The Prodigy-a-thon.
Good luck with that.
Also, every Wednesday, James and I do a Star Trek gaming rundown of the news, of the Star Trek gaming news. That's over on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. So that's released every Wednesday. That's a relatively short show. It's usually about 10 to 20 minutes long, where we just kind of go through the bullet points of the week's news in all of Star Trek gaming, including video games and tabletop games, and other games too, because Star Trek is everywhere. So definitely check out that. So thank you everybody for watching. We really appreciate it, and hopefully we will see you guys next week. We find out what happens with the USS Sovereign. So I'm Tony, the GM. Thank you everybody. Everybody say good night.
Live long and prosper. Good
Good
night,
night,
everyone.
everyone.